Have you ever settled into your seat on a flight, maybe glanced out the window at the wing, and wondered who actually owns the plane you're about to travel on? It's a question most passengers never think to ask, but the answer is far more complex, and surprising, than you might expect. While it's easy to assume that the airline whose name is painted on the fuselage owns the aircraft, the reality is often very different. In fact, the true owner of your plane might be thousands of miles away, in a completely different country. Most people think airlines buy their planes outright, but in today's aviation world, that's rarely the case. Instead, airlines frequently lease their aircraft, much like you might lease a car. The actual owner could be a major bank or a financial institution based in Dublin, Ireland, a city that has quietly become the global capital of aircraft leasing. Or perhaps it's a specialized leasing company you've never heard of, managing a fleet of hundreds of planes and renting them out to airlines all over the world. In fact, more than half of the world's commercial aircraft are leased, not owned, by the airlines that operate them. This means that the plane you're flying on is more likely to be rented than owned outright. This shift from direct ownership to leasing has completely transformed the airline industry. Leasing allows airlines to quickly adjust their fleets, respond to changing demand, and avoid the massive upfront costs of buying new planes, helping them survive in an industry known for razor-thin profit margins. The journey from airline-owned planes to leased fleets is a fascinating story of economic necessity, global finance, and strategic innovation. It's a behind-the-scenes evolution that has shaped the way we all travel today. So the next time you see a familiar airline logo on your ticket or boarding pass, remember, that brand is just one piece of a much larger, more intricate puzzle. This is the new reality of commercial aviation. A world where renting a plane is often smarter, more flexible, and more profitable than buying one, and it's changing the way airlines and passengers like you experience the skies. In the golden age of air travel, airlines like Pan Am and TWA owned their fleets, symbolizing prestige and financial strength. These airlines were the epitome of luxury and innovation, setting the standards for the industry. Owning a fleet of aircraft was not just a business decision, it was a statement of dominance and ambition in the skies. Buying planes was a long-term investment, celebrated with grand ceremonies. These events were often grandiose, with ribbon-cutting ceremonies and media coverage, showcasing the airline's commitment to growth and excellence. The acquisition of a new aircraft was a moment of pride, reflecting the airline's robust financial health and forward-looking vision. This model thrived in a regulated environment where the Civil Aeronautics Board controlled routes and fares. The regulatory framework provided a stable and predictable market, allowing airlines to plan long-term investments with confidence. Routes were carefully allocated and fare structures were designed to ensure profitability and sustainability for the airlines. Airlines could predict revenues and absorb high ownership costs. The financial predictability allowed airlines to manage their fleets efficiently, ensuring that they could meet demand without overextending their resources. This stability fostered an environment where airlines could focus on service quality and customer satisfaction. However, the economic turmoil of the 1970s, including oil crises and stagflation, challenged this model. The sudden spikes in fuel prices and economic instability put immense pressure on airlines, making it difficult to maintain profitability. The once stable environment became unpredictable, forcing airlines to rethink their strategies and operations. The Airline Deregulation Act of 1978 unleashed free market competition, ending predictable stability. This landmark legislation removed government control over fares, routes, and market entry, leading to a more competitive and dynamic industry. Airlines had to adapt quickly to the new reality, where market forces dictated success or failure. Airlines faced intense price wars and new low-cost carriers. The entry of budget airlines disrupted the market, offering lower fares and no-frills service, which appealed to cost-conscious travelers. Traditional airlines had to innovate and cut costs to remain competitive, leading to a significant shift in the industry landscape. They had to become nimble and cost-conscious to survive. Operational efficiency became paramount, with airlines streamlining processes and adopting new technologies to reduce costs. Flexibility and adaptability became key traits for survival in the fiercely competitive market. The wisdom of owning aircraft was questioned. The high costs associated with owning and maintaining a fleet of aircraft became a significant financial burden. Airlines began to explore alternative models that offered more flexibility and reduced financial risk. The old model of buying and holding planes became risky and expensive. Airlines needed flexibility and less financial burden. The economic pressures and competitive market forced airlines to reconsider their asset management strategies, leading to a shift towards more sustainable and adaptable business models. Leasing emerged as a solution, reshaping the industry. Leasing allowed airlines to operate newer, more efficient aircraft without the significant upfront costs of purchasing. This model provided the flexibility to scale operations up or down based on market demand, offering a more resilient approach to fleet management. The era of predictable stability was over. The airline industry had entered a new phase, characterized by rapid change and constant adaptation. The shift from ownership to leasing marked a significant transformation, reflecting the industry's need to remain agile and responsive in an ever-evolving market. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, the airline industry was thrown into turmoil. Deregulation chaos swept through airports, as government controls on routes and fares vanished almost overnight. Airlines scrambled to survive in a new, fiercely competitive environment. Some carriers collapsed, while others desperately searched for ways to adapt and thrive. Out of this upheaval, a new financial innovation emerged: aircraft leasing. This concept became a lifeline for airlines struggling to navigate a volatile market, offering a way to access planes without the crushing burden of ownership. Instead of tying up vast sums of money and buying aircraft outright, airlines could now lease planes, transforming massive capital costs into manageable operating expenses. This shift allowed companies to focus on running their business, not just financing their fleets. Operating leases, typically lasting 3 to 10 years, gave airlines the flexibility to adjust fleet size as demand changed. If a route underperformed, they could return the aircraft at the end of the lease, minimizing risk and maximizing adaptability. Finance leases, on the other hand, worked much like rent-to-own agreements. Airlines could eventually acquire planes without massive upfront payments, spreading costs over time and preserving precious cash for other needs. For new airlines, leasing dramatically lowered the barriers to entry. Suddenly, ambitious startups could launch with a handful of leased jets, sidestepping the need for huge capital investments and taking their first steps into the skies. Established, legacy carriers also benefited. Leasing enabled them to modernize their fleets more quickly, replacing aging aircraft with the latest models and improving efficiency, safety, and passenger comfort. Airlines could experiment with new routes and markets using leased aircraft. If a new destination didn't work out, they could simply return the plane, reducing financial risk and encouraging innovation in route planning. This leasing revolution fundamentally reshaped airline strategy. Fleet planning became more dynamic, and airlines could respond faster to market changes and opportunities. Startups could now challenge industry giants, leveling the playing field and sparking a wave of innovation and competition across the globe. Meanwhile, legacy carriers found new ways to adapt, updating their branding and strategies to stay relevant in a rapidly changing industry. Today, leasing is a cornerstone of modern aviation. Nearly half of the world's commercial aircraft are leased, connecting people and places in ways once thought impossible. The leasing revolution had begun, transforming the skies forever, and it's here to stay. Ireland, not a bustling airport city, is the global center for aircraft leasing. Over 60% of the world's leased aircraft are managed from Ireland. This dominance stems from strategic foresight and favorable policies. Tony Ryan's Guinness Peak Aviation laid the foundation in 1975. Ireland's low corporate tax rate and double taxation treaties attracted global players. Giants like AerCap and Avalon manage vast portfolios from Irish headquarters. Ireland's reign as the leasing capital is a testament to strategic policy and vision. Leasing is embraced for one reason: capital. Buying planes ties up billions in depreciating assets. Leasing spreads costs into predictable monthly payments, freeing capital for strategic needs. It helps airlines manage risk, avoiding residual value uncertainty. Leasing companies assume residual value risk, allowing airlines to walk away at lease end. This flexibility is crucial in economic downturns. Airlines can shrink fleets as leases expire, matching demand. Leasing mitigates risks of owning underutilized assets. It allows airlines to scale operations with market fluctuations. Leasing is a cornerstone of modern airline finance. It provides financial discipline and risk management. Leasing makes financial sense in a volatile industry. Leasing offers airlines strategic flexibility. The aviation market demands constant adaptation. Leasing allows precise fleet optimization. Airlines can test new routes with short-term leases. If successful, they extend leases. If not, they return planes. Leasing enables a modern, fuel-efficient fleet. New aircraft models offer lower fuel consumption and costs. Leasing allows access to the latest planes without ownership burden. Low-cost carriers benefit from leasing's cost advantages. They can launch with new fleets, maintaining competitiveness. Leasing powers continuous modernization and success. It's a strategic edge in the aviation landscape. In aircraft accidents, who is liable? The airline, not the lessor, bears responsibility. Liability follows operational control, shielding lessors. Lessors provide assets but don't control operations. International conventions place legal responsibility on airlines. Leasing agreements require airlines to carry liability insurance. This legal framework protects lessors from massive claims. Lessors ensure airworthiness at delivery, then shift operational burden. This legal structure enables billions in aviation investment. The pandemic tested leasing's resilience. Airlines with leased fleets had flexibility to negotiate deferrals and return planes. As the industry recovers, leasing is crucial for fleet modernization. Airlines need new, fuel-efficient planes but lack capital. Lessors with strong financial backing are primary customers for manufacturers. Leasing provides quick access to new aircraft. Rising interest rates and decarbonization pressures favor leasing. Low-cost carriers in emerging markets benefit from leasing's low entry barrier. Leasing is a fundamental reinvention of the airline industry. Its logic is more compelling than ever.